Well, that was quick. Yeah, that was really freaking fast. Yeah, so that ceasefire that President Trump seemingly had, was able to effectively broker between Iran and Israel looked to have just been a whole bunch of talk, and not by President Trump necessarily, because I'm sure he's exhausted at this point, and he just wants this to end. The United States went ahead and destroyed the major, nuclear infrastructure that Iran had in terms of their capacity for nuclear, destruction. Right, so they got what they wanted out of this. Now, Iran is not really a real physical threat to America for the most part. I mean, they don't even have any rockets, truthfully, that can reach the United States borders. The only, rockets that can go that far is Russia, right, with the Satan II bomb that they have. So it's not exactly. This is terrible news, if I'm being quite honest with you. And President Trump earlier this morning was interviewed here by C-SPAN before getting on his helicopter there. And he had a few words to say about the matter. So before we get into it, subscribe, like the video. We're going to go ahead and play what President Trump's reaction to all of this has been. And you guys let me know how you feel about the situation as well in the comments. We're going to be trying to cover a lot of these situations daily. And so if you like this type of stuff, subscribe, get comfortable. Let's get started.
They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with...
Pause. I'm sorry. I'm going to let it play out, but Mr. President, pause. Respectfully, of course.
With Israel. When I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
And simply put, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we are now. These two countries have been fighting for so long, for so hard, that at this point, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And here's another problem. America went ahead and got involved when they didn't have to. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. President Trump has spoken about this, the Israel and Iran situation. He's obviously not too pleased, as you could tell, from the, from his temper, from the words he chose to use. And here you have, some media reaction here on X, people's reaction here on X on what exactly is going on. And everyone's relatively a little bit concerned, outraged, right? I'll be honest. I do believe that Trump posting on X and Truth Social there, effectively declaring the war is over a little bit too prematurely, in my honest opinion. These two countries have decades of years of hate for one another. So I don't know. I thought it would be very unlikely, especially after Israel actually received rocket fire in Haifa, in Tel Aviv. Once that happened, I was pretty much in the boat of, okay, well, Israel won't let this die now, because now Benjamin Netanyahu has been embarrassed, right? He's been embarrassed. His ego has been effectively bruised. So what's next for him? Well, it's simple. What's next for him is to get Big Brother, Donald Trump in this case, or the United States. Really, it's not really Donald Trump. It's truthfully the United States to help them out. There's only 9 to 10 million people living in Israel in this current moment, and there is a 90 to 100 million people population in Iran. Listen, if this is a war of attrition and the United States stays out of this war, Israel will lose, and they'll be forced to use their nuclear weapons because that's the only shot they have to taking down Iran. Unfortunately, it's just the reality, right? Whether you like it or not, Israel cannot beat Iran materialistically. They knew that, and that is why they are desperately trying to get the United States involved. And so, effectively, at this point, Donald Trump, he's made his statement very clear, right? Both Israel and Iran wanted to stop the war equally. It was my great honor to destroy all nuclear facilities and capability and then stop the war. Well, yeah, like I said, way too premature. As you can see, it's starting to get a little bit foggy here, and Trump is sort of he looks a little foolish in this moment. I'm not going to lie. He looks a little bit foolish. So hopefully this, enlightens him a little bit on the situation and how serious, Israel and Iran are in this situation. It wasn't just about nuclear weapons. It wasn't just about nuclear enrichment. It's a lot deeper than that. And I think it's time Trump sort of addresses that and figures out a way to effectively leave the West out of it, because it's not our concern. It's not our problem. It's not America's fight to have. It just truthfully isn't. We've dealt with the nuclear facilities. Get your hands out of it. Wash them clean. No troops. Nobody with American blood should be dying for another nation.